Hey guys, welcome back. I've got another fun day of fossils for you all. Today we're going to start with this first learning target. I can use details in the text to comprehend the story. I have another curiosity for you today. Here it is. Look closely at this curiosity. This is going in our Curiosities Museum too. Think about what you notice. Look at the size. It says right here that that amount of space is 1 centimeter. And remember that 1 centimeter is about the width of your pinky. So that first part here might be about 5 or 6 pinkies across. It's about how big that is. This is the fossil of the skull of a tree squirrel. It's 25 million years old, and it was found in Oregon. Paleontologists have learned that squirrels have not changed very much, and this squirrel looked just like the squirrels that we have today. Cool, huh? All right, guys, we're going to closely look at a couple more pages of our book today in Stone Girl, Bone Girl, and we're going to continue looking at details in the text to understand or comprehend the story. Okay, let's go here to page 9 and 10, right here. One evening, some rich ladies came to Pepper's workshop. Mary knew who they were, the Philpott sisters who lived together in a fine house high above the town. Scientists, people said. The youngest of the ladies, Annie Philpott, wanted Pepper to build a glass-fronted cabinet to display curiosities, she said. Mary jumped up. She couldn't believe that someone else was interested in curiosities. Excuse me, Mary said nervously. Would you like to see my collection? And she pulled open the drawer. Oh, gasped the ladies. What wonderful fossils. Fossils? Mary had never heard the word. The Mrs. Philpott smiled. They could see that Mary didn't know much about her collection. I'll tell you what, Mary, said Annie Philpott. When Pepper has finished my little cabinet, why don't you bring it to us? We could have some tea, and then we will show you our collection. What did Mary do? How did she respond when she heard the Philpott sisters talk about curiosities? Let's see, where is it here in the text? It says she jumped up. She felt nervous. She offered to show her collection and pulled out her drawer. What did the women call Mary's curiosities? Fossils, right? She didn't know they were called fossils. Wow, let's look at the next couple of pages. Here's page 11. For 3 long weeks, she waited for Pepper to finish the cabinet, but he seemed to be working more slowly than ever. Mary was very worried about him, but at last the elm cabinet was finished. The wood was from the very same tree that had been struck by lightning and had almost killed baby Mary. She thought it was the most handsome thing that Pepper had ever made. Slowly, Pepper wrapped the cabinet in brown paper and tied it with string. His old hands were shaking as he kissed Mary. Mary had never seen anything like the Philpotts' house. There were expensive rugs in every room and maids to serve the tea. Most wonderful of all was the collection of curiosities. The Mrs. Philpott explained that the fossils were the remains of ancient sea creatures that had been preserved in the clay. Here's page 12. Everything was so interesting that Mary forgot to be nervous. Then Annie Philpott showed her a huge tooth she had found. From a great sea monster, she said. She told Mary she believed the rest of the creature was still out there, hidden in the cliffs. If anyone could ever find that, Mary, that would be the greatest treasure of all. It was nearly dark when Mary ran down the hill. As soon as she pushed open the workshop door, she knew something was wrong. Okay. Let's think where it says, think I need to go back a page. No, let me see. Here we are. The Mrs. Philpott explained that the fossils were the remains of ancient sea creatures that had been preserved in the clay. How does this sentence help you understand what paleontologists do? Yeah, they learn about creatures, like ancient sea creatures, by looking at the remains or what's left. So you have to know what a couple of those words mean, like preserved means to keep something the same and protected for a long time. Often it's trapped in stone. And so the story is about Mary Anning collecting fossils in stone, which are very old creatures, but are still visible today. So the fossils are like the leftover signs of animals. Okay, let's look on page 13 and 14, the last two pages we're going to look at today. The workshop was so quiet after Pepper died. To Mary, it felt as if half her world had fallen away, like the farmhouse on the cliff edge, and there was no money. Her mother began to sell everything she could think of, and still they went to bed hungry. One evening, Mary wandered up to the churchyard. A heavy fog hung over everything. Ragged clouds dragged at a lemon slice moon. As she came to the stone that marked Pepper's grave, something moved in the darkness. For a moment, Mary was afraid, but coming closer, she realized it was nothing but a funny little dog with a coat like speckled pepper. The dog bounded over and licked Mary's face. When she turned to walk home, the little dog came too. At last, it ran into the workshop and curled under the table. Perhaps you need a friend too, laughed Mary. And from that moment, Mary and the dog were never apart. Okay, what event or challenge happened in this part of the story? Yeah, Pepper died. Her dad died. And what was it about that made it so challenging? Today you're going to be answering some questions. So here's what your work is going to look like for today. What event or challenge happened in the story? So you're going to tell me in a complete sentence what the challenge was here. And what was challenging about this event? And how did Mother respond to the challenge? So remember, a character's response is how they react to an event in the story. What do they do? What do they say? What do they think or feel? So this is what you're going to work on today, and you're going to answer these 3 questions in nice, complete sentences. And then let me show you the next part of what we're going to do today. Let me jump back to the learning target slide. I can answer questions about how Mary responded to changes in her life. So what I have for us here is a learning target poem. I'm going to scooch myself over so you can see it's a bullseye, right? Yeah, target, where you try to get the arrow and you try to hit the target right there. That's what we're doing when we have learning targets. We're trying to do what it says. To hit the target, you have to be able to do what it says you're going to do. So here's just a fun little poem about learning targets. And I'm going to read it to you. Think of the thing you desire to learn. Believe in yourself and your efforts will earn the ability to learn something new. Now take aim at the target true. And when we're in the classroom, what I always tell boys and girls to do is to pretend, make a pretend bow and arrow, and right? So right when I'm going to read this one more time, and right when I say, now take aim at the target true, I want you to go. Okay, you ready? Think of the thing you desire to learn. Believe in yourself and your efforts will earn the ability to learn something new. Now take aim at your target true. All right. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take aim at our target true. Okay. Let's see what we've got. There is the next page of this book. And today we're going to respond using some details from the picture and from the text. Let's see what we've got here. Now remember, we want to talk about two habits of character today. We're going to talk about perseverance and we're going to talk about initiative. What are those? Those are big, big words. And they're good, good habits that we want to develop. Perseverance, first one, is when you persist despite difficulties and you challenge yourself. You try hard and you ask for help if you need it. Man, that sounds like our mission statement in our classroom. And perseverance, guys, is one of those things that we do every day when things get hard and we just keep trying and we ask for help if we need it and we push, push, push. So let's look today in this text and see where we see examples of perseverance, where somebody persists, keeps trying. Initiative, that's the other one. Initiative's another great habit of character. It's when you notice what needs to be done and you do it. You get started and you just do it. So let's look today and see if Mary Anning notices some things that she needs to be done, that needs to get done, and she just does it. She takes initiative. Okay, page 15. Right here, that summer the town was full of holiday makers. As Mary and her dog watched the rich ladies and gentlemen wandering the streets, she suddenly had an idea. Perhaps she could sell her curiosities. Remember what was going on in the last section? Yeah, so this is why she might want to sell her curiosities. She dragged a table from the workshop onto the pavement and carefully arranged the fossils from her collection, all except the snake stone around her neck. That she would never part with. She wrote a small sign in her best handwriting, "Curiosities for sale." And then Mary Anning and the little dog sat down to wait. The first to pass were a group of children. They began laughing and pointing at poor Mary. "Stone girl, bone girl, out on your own, girl," they shouted. How did Mary respond? How did Mary respond when she was faced with the challenge of needing money? What did she do? Yeah, she was going to sell her curiosities. She set up a stand. What habit of character would you say she used here? Would you say she showed initiative because she knew what had to be done and she did it? I would. So let's look at the next page. All day Mary waited. She was just about to pack away her table when a group of ladies and gentlemen came by. "How fascinating," said a lady. "What are they?" asked someone else. "This one would make a delightful brooch or a garden ornament." And so Mary Anning sold her first fossils, and as the rich people strolled away, Mary felt the weight of coins in her pocket. What can you infer there? She's got coins. Did they buy some stuff? Yeah. "I know I was right," she whispered to her dog. "These aren't just ordinary stones. They are treasures. If only I could find that sea monster." Okay. What does she really want? She really wants to find the sea monster. Why was this a challenge? Right. No one's found this thing before. If she finds it, it's going to be a big deal. Let's look at the last couple pages we're going to talk about today. Here we go. All summer, Mary searched for curiosities for her shop. She borrowed books about fossils from the Mrs. Philpott and learned everything she could. Her mother was delighted with the money that Mary was earning, but she was worried about Mary alone on the dangerous cliffs. Mary reassured her that the little dog would run for help in an emergency. As she searched, Mary thought more and more about the giant sea monster and about the cliffs in prehistoric times. She imagined fantastic landscapes inhabited by extraordinary creatures. How did she respond to the challenge of finding the sea monster? Yeah, she searched all summer and she borrowed books. Which habit of character is this one? Yeah, perseverance, because she persisted. She didn't give up on finding the monster, even though every day she got done from searching and she didn't find it. And so some people might want to quit, but not Mary Anning. She's not going to give up. She is going to persist. All right. And let's look over here at this beautiful picture on page 18. Let's scoot me out of the way so you can see the top. Yeah. What extraordinary creatures did she think inhabited the cliffs long ago? Maybe some dinosaurs? Yeah. All right, today, last part of our lesson, guys. Remember, we've been talking about how to answer multiple choice questions. I'm going to have you guys so good at this. So you got to use a strategy after you've read your question. You can cover the choices and think of the answer. You can read through all the answer choices, cross out the ones you know are incorrect, and use details from the text to choose the best answer. And then it says circle the whole answer. You get to do that today because your question is going to be on a slide. I'm going to model it with the question from yesterday's video. Oh, get back there. Okay. How did Mary feel about the curiosity? So pretend I'm covering up, not looking at my choices. How did she feel? Well, I know she liked the curiosity. Remember, this was the question in the video from yesterday. She liked the curiosity. I know it said she was happy when Pepper showed it to her. So let's see here. Let me get my tool. I'm going to come up here to the squiggly line thing, and I'm going to choose scribble. How did Mary feel about the curiosity? Okay, our choices are confused, excited, mad. Mad? I don't remember Mary Anning getting mad at all in this story. Mad. So you know what? Let me see if I can get my tool here. I thought I had it. Scribble and scribble. That's not it. Oh, I'm having trouble today. There we go. Right? So I said cross out the ones you know are not it. Okay, confused. What exactly is confused? Is like you're not sure or excited? I think it's going to have to be excited because she was so excited when she found it. These are her curiosities. So when you find the right one, you want to, let me get that tool again, guys. I'm sorry. Scribble. She was excited. Yeah, so you're going to circle the whole answer. See how I did that? So when you turn in your slide to me today, I want to see a line through any that you think are not it. If you think you're not sure, but you're still deciding, you can just leave it like this. And then when you know you find the right one, I want you to circle it, okay? And so today, I'm just going to show you your question. This is the slide. It says exit ticket at the top. So it's attached to this lesson. So after you finish this video, you have an exit ticket to do, and you have some questions to answer. So here's the deal on the questions. Mostly, I think it's a great idea to get the writing practice, to write it on paper with lines. Some kids like to type on the slides. If you want to type on this slide, you can. If you want to just write the answers, you don't have to copy down the questions. If you want to just write the answers and turn those in, you can do that, okay? And take a picture of it. That is up to you. But these are the two parts of this lesson today, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. All righty, see you next time.